I'm so happy and I love painted kitchens. Bad idea. Another discovery that I absolutely really am happy about spending the extra money is the one regret that I have is I wish I wanna get in trouble. See where you stand. I don't wanna see you cry. Hello and welcome to another video. Welcome to the kitchen reveal. I know that you've been waiting so long for this video, so thank you for your patience. I'm actually so excited, I don't even know where to start. But what I am going to do is I want this video to be as helpful as possible. The kitchen is the heart of the home. It's one of the rooms, if not the room, that takes the most planning. You have to put so much thought into it. It has to be practical, it has to work. I wanted mine to look beautiful, so I took the most time, effort and money into this room. So I hope that by you watching this video, it's going to condense all that research time for you, and I'm hoping that you can get a lot of tips and tricks from this video and a lot of advice. So I'm going to show you the video so you can see everything, can see it all at once in its glory, and then we'll go through bit by bit. The company that we used for our kitchen was Handmade Kitchens. I'm going to go into this company in detail, but before I continue with the video, I want you to know that I spoke to them. We paid for our kitchen, but I asked them if they could give you a little exclusive offer, and they kindly have agreed that you can get £500 off of your chosen tap, and then you'll see that I have a lot of personalised engraved pieces. It's kind of everywhere, and they're going to give you a complimentary personalised engraved tray, which you're going to see mine in a minute. So an amazing offer if you'd like to go ahead with Handmade Kitchen. So I will leave you with the video. I'm even going to talk to you about the most amazing stain remover, like marble stain remover, that's not a marble stain remover. So I've got so many amazing things to share with you. So enjoy the video and then we'll talk through each feature.
Dream with me, let your mind explore all the things we were created for.
What did you think? We're so happy with it. We've been living in this room for quite a few months now, so I'm really prepared for what I tell you with this video. So the company that we used was Handmade Kitchen. This was already the hardest stage of starting the kitchen. So finding the company took me so much research. I think I went to every showroom in the country, that's no exaggeration. So hopefully by sharing this already, that's more than half the work done. So we used Handmade Kitchen. It weren't the original company that we went with. First of all, how expensive are kitchens? The budget that I put aside for this kitchen, I was not even the same price as, let's call them the high street stores that I thought I was originally going to go with. When I saw the quality of the materials, there was no way I was going to pay for that. I mean, maybe you found a better deal than me, but I thought, no, I'd rather pay a little bit extra and get better quality. It went from like high street prices to like haute couture, and there was nothing in the middle. But then by the time you've seen these amazing luxury kitchens, I didn't want anything different, so I went from this tiny budget to haute couture prices. I'm talking six-figure prices for a kitchen. And I thought, okay, there's no other choice. I'm just going to have to research. This took me over a year. And then I found one company, Bespoke Kitchens, price in the middle. And then I realized as I was going through the design process that it wasn't actually bespoke. I decided I didn't want to choose from, 4 or 5 colors. If you look down here, we can now start with this side of the kitchen. So we have our beautiful island unit, bespoke size, and I have my Timothy Alton table that I wanted here, and there was no compromise. It was going to be there. Now the companies that I'd seen before, they kind of gave you an off-the-shelf, like seating area or like a booth that we have now, and they all had a raised platform, so it would completely, for me, ruin the fluidity of standing here and seeing that beautiful view, though I just didn't see why I had to have that. So I then went back to the drawing board, and I wanted to find someone that was a really reasonable price, good quality, but I could also have it 100% bespoke. and that's when we found Handmade Kitchens. Everything about Handmade Kitchens has been completely flawless. It's a small family-run business, beautiful showroom. You need to go there just for the showroom. It's like Beatrix Potter. There's animals everywhere, beautiful horses. I spent about half an hour with their horse. Really friendly, lovely family. They even showed us their kitchen, because it's such a commitment to commit to like the kitchen. It's so expensive, so they were really patient with us. And we went, they did all the design, completely free, the design. We went ahead with them. They showed us so many things. So this is like some of the design features that I want to tell you about that I didn't know about. Maybe you already have these and you've already seen it, but I've actually never heard of this design idea where it's not, we do have cupboards like this, like the traditional cupboard, but most of our storage are actually drawers. So we have a very slim drawer at the front, and then you push that forward, and then you have a really deep storage drawer. So you end up getting probably 2 or 3 times the storage, more storage. And when you want to see something at the back, you just pull out the drawer, you can see everything really clearly. It's a lot more practical and works really well. So I'm really thankful that we have that, because it wasn't in our old design. The island unit, completely bespoke. We designed that together. I kind of said all of my ideas, and Nick was our designer, and he just did everything I wanted and made a few suggestions, which was so important, because I found that a lot of people didn't actually have many suggestions. So it was a really good partnership. Now the island unit, as you come into this room, it was quite challenging for me to think of how I join all of this space together. And although our kitchen is a really great space, for us it's perfect. Originally it closed off here. I'll try and find some old pictures, but it closed off here. And when you came in, we've got quite a grand hallway, so when you would come in here, it would be a bit, like deflated moment. And I wanted the wow factor, and we certainly have achieved that. You walk through the kitchen space, the colours are perfect. I can't wait to tell you what happened with the colours. So much to tell you. And you walk through here and it's everything I dreamed of. It actually has come out so much better than what I imagined. I'm over the moon with it. We have our wine cooler fridge. We have lots of storage. We have our drinks fridge. This is our collection of sparkling wine from My Timber. England's finest sparkling wine, made the traditional method from grapes grown in England. We absolutely love it. It is literally the best sparkling wine you will ever taste. Always got a wine cooler fridge stocked with that, and you'll probably find some in the fridge as well. So lots of storage there. I haven't even got round to using all that storage yet. Our Timothy Alton Rex table, and you can see the way that how the marble reflects all of the light. That in itself is just beautiful. Now we come through to the main kitchen area. The colour of our cabinets, they're little green, and I think this is Portland stone. I'll put it up here. We've got little green everywhere, so I don't want to get the colours confused. So a really funny story we have with these. So we chose our colours of what we wanted, and we really liked little green. But then we thought maybe Handmade Kitchen have their own paint. Handmade Kitchen can use any paint that you want, any colour that you want. This is so amazing. It feels overwhelming at the start, and part of me just wanted to choose from 4 colours because it was so hard to such a big decision picking the colour of your kitchen, knowing that you can have any colour in the world. But I'm so happy. And I love painted kitchens, and I was a bit worried about a painted kitchen at the start. I didn't want it to look like not professional, but here's the reasons why I love painted kitchen. 1, you can have any colour that you want. 2, you can paint it again completely, whereas you can't paint over like the sprayed or silicone machine painted, it's machine sprayed. You can't paint over them. If I get bored of this in 5 years or 10 years, I can completely revamp my kitchen by painting it. So that in itself. The last reason is the chips. So like anyone with children or wear and tear, Honoré loves to ride his bike and bump into things. I have the paint here myself. I paint over it and it's completely gone. And you can't have this with the machine sprayed. I'm so happy that I went with the painted kitchen, so I hope that tip helps as well. Handmade Kitchen love using little green because the texture is amazing. So, and we thought exactly the same when we tested out paint, so really recommend little green. So, funny story, you'll see the utility room in a minute, it's a different colour. The utility room colour was meant to be in here, and vice versa. And I was always going to have this room beige, and I wanted to have, you'll see it's white, the utility room is white. And I wanted to have the contrast of the white and a bright white kitchen. I came down in the morning, no I didn't come down, Paris came up and said, they've painted the kitchen the wrong colour. So I came down and they'd done the first coat of this beige colour. And they were like, don't worry, we will repaint it all, we'll get it done really quickly, don't worry at all, we'll swap it around. And then I looked at it and I thought, actually, I love the colour beige. I think it's so warm, so country. It was the best mistake that's ever happened. And I said, do you know what, keep it like this, and I'm so happy. So the walls in the family room and this, you can see if I do a really close-up comparison, it's the same colour but a different tone. Obviously both little green, and I actually love it. It makes it kind of like gelled together a lot more. The contrast works beautifully together, and I actually think if I used a white, if it was a white island, it wouldn't have flowed together as nicely. So the best mistake ever. Let's talk about the marble. So the marble, this is another very, very tough decision when it comes to kitchens, and I get so many questions about this on my Instagram. So I moved over here so you can actually see the marble. So the question I get asked the most on Instagram, if you're not following me, I have a home account, Claire Chanelle Home, and also my main account, so go ahead and follow me on there. I get asked all the time about the marble, and it was the hardest decision when it came to the kitchen. So it started off that I absolutely wasn't having marble. All my images I'd ever saved, they all had marble. I spent, again, around about a year finding something that came close. Handmade Kitchen recommends so many to us that we were very close to getting. So I'll put that information in the description box, because if you really do want quartz, they work with a quartz company. It's the same company that we used for the marble, Sharpstone, but I will get to them in a second. So I'll recommend you the quartz that we nearly chose, because it's the closest you can get to marble, but it's not marble. So I looked at all these artificial and porcelain. I looked at absolutely everything. I found some really good options, but I just couldn't, if you want marble, there's no other way around it. So then we dealt with Sharpstones. Sharpstone, we were, again, another flawless service. We went to their yard. They had 2 yards. They had absolutely every marble, every quartz that you can imagine. It was overwhelming. They had absolutely every single colour. And then I fell in love with my pink onyx that I have in my wardrobe. That wasn't even in the plan, but I ended up buying that from them as well. Onyx is very hard to install, and they did such a great job. It's very fragile. I cannot recommend Sharpstone enough. We're actually going to do some more projects with them. So they were really patient with me, because I wanted Arabescato, but I wanted the veins to be right. There was no other choice than just go to the yard and keep seeing all the slabs. So I've had a lot of people say to me about this being too thin, but actually there were 2 reasons why I have my marble too thin, this size. One is that when I saw this slab, it was the most beautiful slab that I'd ever seen. And there were a couple of others that I'd seen in the past, and they said, sorry Claire, this is too thin, it's not going to be durable enough for a kitchen. Then I saw this one, and I said, is this one going to be thick enough? And they said, yes, just about. When I looked at all my saved images from Kitchen Inspiration, all of my kitchens had a thin surface like this. So it was obviously a look I wanted, and I love it because I feel like this is quite traditional feel, and the thinness and the minimal shape that I went for. There's so many different shapes to go for. I feel like it gives an ever so slight modern touch. So that's the answer to the question of why I have mine, I don't have it thicker. That's the exact reason. I fell in love with this veining on this Arabescato, and they had plenty others that were thick, but I have my heart set on this one. The other question that I get asked all the time about the marble is this splashback here. So we chose to have our splashback like this. You can have it, you have to buy an extra slab, which we did anyway. I bought every single slab available in this Arabescato, and I wanted to make some coffee, like side coffee tables. I wanted all of the windowsills done in it. I bought every single slab in this Arabescato. So I could have had this, and it kind of mirrors, I've forgotten the name, it mirrors out like this. Sometimes, and they did, like Sharpstone showed us everything, how it would look. They did it all digitally to pick where each slab went, but I feel like it can look like lady parts. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't, and I just wanted one clean area like this, so we chose to have it like that. And then with the extra slabs, we didn't have enough to make any coffee side tables, and we didn't even have enough to do the windowsills in the family room. That's how little we had. So this might be your favourite part of the video. So this is Wine No More. This is not an ad, by the way. I wish it was. Might actually reach out to them because it's literally one of my favourite things, favourite discoveries. Red wine stain remover for carpets, clothing and textiles. So I picked this up in a fancy kitchen shop for my white linen sofa. I have a white linen sofa and I thought I'll just keep it indoors just in case. On the second day that we had our marble fitted, it was my mistake. I had a wooden, this is another tip, I had a wooden chopping board and I had it in the coffee station, which I'm going to show you in a second, and I had our coffee machine on there so that it didn't leak. Bad idea. So when you do have any trays on marble, have them so that they're metal. So I'll show you the one that I use for my washing up rack, and that reminds me, I have one regret in this kitchen and I'm going to tell you in a second. So you'll see here that I have this washing up rack and it's metal. This is actually from IKEA and it is the most amazing discovery. Normally when I find things at IKEA, I have them in between for finding something nice, but really amazing discovery at IKEA. The colour is really nice and the water doesn't seep into the wood. So what happened was the wood, the water from the coffee machine leaked, went into the wood. In the morning, a big wooden like brownie stain where the chopping board had been varnished. It was all in the marble. It was just like devastating. Like imagine your marble is 2 days old and you stain it. So in a panic, I tried this. It's basically gone. You can see an ever slight mark, but there's so much natural veining going on marble, you really cannot tell. Since then, we've had about 6 stains. I spray this on, I let it soak, I rub it out, it disappears. This is like magic. This literally looks like an ad, but I promise you it's not. I use it on the sofa, I use it on clothes. If there's one thing you're going to buy in this video, it needs to be this. Sensational. So another thing with the marble, I think with marble, just before we move on to something else, with marble, you need to accept in yourself that if you stain it, fine. And I've done that, and actually we've had this, I don't even know how long we've had this kitchen, maybe 6 months, and there are no stains. I mean, thanks to this, but there are literally no stains. I use the metal boards every now and again. The only thing that I will say is when, and I'm now completely used to it, is when, look at my amazing plates by the way. Do you know how hard it was to find shell plates? They're either silly prices or they have too much colour going on. And I'll link these below because they're extremely reasonable price and insane quality. I have all the matching bowls, seriously beautiful. So yes, as I was saying, normally I would just like shove the plate down. I used to have a wooden counter. So now you just have to make sure that you're more gentle when you put it down. So it's more of this vibe instead of just crashing them down, which I used to do without realising. So apart from that, that's the only thing I recommend. On the island unit, when we're hosting, I put like a silicone transparent tablecloth, so that, not cloth, like a table mat. So any remarks, it's fine, but we're really not precious about it, so I recommend that. Now I'll take you over to the sink area and I'll talk you through, this is the one regret that I have, but it's a very personal choice. So when it comes to ordering taps and sinks, order them straight away. We didn't. And they took months and months. So this was our second choice sink. We didn't want to wait any longer and delay the whole process. But I'm really happy with these sinks. I actually think they look really beautiful. I didn't actually mind either or, but just a tip to order your sinks and taps very early on. We have 2 sinks and I'll take you to the utility room in a minute. The one regret that I have is I wish that this sink was an open, large double sink. And the reason for that is I'm a washer-upper. I love washing up. Paris can't understand it. So when I put my cooking trays in there, it's very awkward. Whereas if it was one long space, I could wash up the big things easier. That's the only mistake, and I would be happy to keep this one as 2. It's a very personal preference, but I would just think about that when you're ordering the one that's a double or an open single. I wish I had an open single, and maybe, I don't think I will change it, to be honest. It's a really small thing. That's my only regret. Another thing, another discovery that I absolutely really am happy about spending the extra money is our cooker tap. The best thing ever, and everyone I know that has one thinks it's amazing. You probably heard of these. It's the instant boiling water. We couldn't have sparkling, although we really wanted that. We didn't have enough space below, but really recommend spending that extra money on a cooker tap. I couldn't even imagine. In France we have a kettle, and I just feel like I've gone back in time and we're going to get one for there, because it's the most amazing little luxury that you can have. So that's another thing that I really am glad I went the extra money, because when everything's all tallying up, the last thing you want is to put in an expensive tap, but trust me, it's worth it. It's amazing. Another amazing thing that I discovered at Handmade Kitchen are our little cleaning drawers here. These are so useful. We have them either side of the sink. We have all of our kitchen cleaning products here, and the way that it's all set out, I can see everything nice and clear. We have all of our cleaning products in here. I love this design feature that they literally, Handmade Kitchen thought of absolutely everything. Something that I was so excited about was to have a bin in a cupboard, and so we have one of them now. I hate the bins out on shows, really recommend doing that. Another thing that I recommend, which is a really good tip, is to do with the fridge freezer. So let me quickly talk about the fridge freezer. Nothing in, like everything in here we paid for. I'm just trying to be as helpful as possible to make sure you spend your money in the right way. Don't even know what the brand of this was. This is Fisher and Paykel. We used to have the other fridge with the drawer freezer. I hated this. And these were really thick and chunky. I'm really happy with this one. Do you want to have a look in my fridge? Why not? Do you know what I should have told you before? This is a real life tour, and you'll see a couple of things are actually really messy. So this is literally what we have in our fridge. We're going away at the weekend, so we don't actually have that much, but let's look in a little fridge tour. I feel like MTV Cribs. Might as well have a nose in my fridge, mightn't you? So, oh look, literally, I told you, 3 bottles we have of these. If you haven't tasted this, you have to. We've been drinking this for a while. Paris was so skeptical with him being French. He was like, he wasn't buying it. So I bought some. They had an offer on Waitrose, which is still there. And I gave it to him, and he was like, wow. What I love about this is it's very light, and it tastes very light and very refreshing. So we're both obsessed. We literally always have some, and if there's ever an offer, we really stock up. I always love having these drawers, because I feel like it keeps your fridge a lot cleaner. I'd rather clean these than clean the whole fridge. Always have lots of fresh fruit. Normally, and if I had time to do a whole setup, I do normally have a big bowl of fruit salad that we can just pick up. Really good for like a healthy snack. That's it really. That is literally all in my fridge. Always have my water bottle. Oh. Always rave about these. We've got 2 of these. If you go to Harrods, pick up a bottle of this. It's the best. It's the balsamic vinegar. Absolutely incredible. So the tip that I was going to show you, and I always have my, you know, those facial stones. I always keep mine in the fridge. This one is from Mantle, and it makes such a difference when they're cold. And speaking of beauty tips in the fridge, I always keep my mascara in the fridge. Like if it comes to the end of the bottle, it keeps it a lot fresh. And I always have my frozen Charlotte Tilbury eye mask. Won't put it on now because I've got makeup. I swear by this thing. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I didn't have it in France, and I'm taking this to France, and then I'll get a new one. So what I was going to tell you is I did a lot of research, and I read that a lot of interior designers said that one of the best and most luxurious things you can have in a kitchen is an ice, like an ice machine. So I put that in my original design, and we decided against it. After Nick told us all the do's and like pros and cons of an ice machine, we decided not to have one. They take up lots of space and they're noisy. We were going to have one in the island unit. I still think it's not a bad idea, but because we got this fridge, what I love about this fridge freezer is that this whole top drawer is an ice bucket. We actually emptied it last night for our dinner. We had like huge, it's a heat wave, we're using so much ice. But this is full, like a big ice drawer, and it's just the same as the ice machines. That's another tip. Should we talk about the coffee station? So this, I love about the design feature. So how it came around with this wood paneling. When we moved into our house, we have a lot of original wood paneling in our house, and we kind of continued that. Not saying we come before the trend at all. I discovered wood paneling because of this house. I'd always seen it in Parisian hotels and things like that, which also I got inspo for, but I just feel like it was a really nice feature of this house. And I saw this design in a really expensive kitchen company. I went to the showroom. I can honestly say that I preferred the handmade kitchen service and showroom. And I thought that the handmade kitchens were going to be the same price because it seemed the same to me. If anything, I preferred handmade kitchen, and they were less than half the price. I don't want to pull any other company down. I just want to give you the positive facts. But I saw this kitchen with them, and it's not one of their bespoke designs. This design has been used like for years. I've seen it everywhere on the internet. And I said, can you do something like this? So Nick came up with an idea that was wood paneling, but with his own twist, and made some suggestions. And this was really quite a difficult feature. This is our coffee station. Now, our coffee machine hasn't actually arrived. So I'm going to be doing another update where I've got a few things to show you, and I'm going to do a whole video on our coffee station. So this is our coffee station. We tend to leave it open quite a lot of the time. It looks so beautiful with the marble. You can slightly see the stain here, but it really looks very natural. So that's our coffee station here. We love how the microwave is hidden away. I hate microwaves on show. I don't like anything on show, so I absolutely love this. I saw it in the handmade kitchen showroom. And the toaster, we normally have our Ninja smoothie machine and the coffee machine here. So all the coffee bits are here. We have our knife and fork in here. We have all our coffee here, and little spoons, fridge there. The way that it's all been set out is very practical. We were going to have a sink here, but because our kitchen's quite small, the sink is literally there. So I really didn't need to have another sink in here. And I love that beautiful marble. We have lots of storage here. As I was saying, come back in a couple of weeks, probably about a month actually, because we're going on holiday. Come back and see our coffee machine, and our new coffee machine that we've chosen, and the whole coffee station thing. This video is already way too long anyway. There's just so much to get through. So this is our pantry. I was so excited to have a pantry. Literally over the moon. Everything that we have here, there's another thing that I learned. When I saw other pantries, this here, the spice rack, this was a lot deeper, and you could fit things like olive oil, ketchup, this kind of thing. And I spoke to Handmade Kitchen about this, and I said, I want this bigger. And they explained to me, well, what do you want more? Do you want space in here? Because this is going to eat away into this space. So I went with their recommendation, and I only had a very slim, it's not very deep at all. And I'm so happy that I listened to them, because we do have all our spices and dried fruit. And this is actually the perfect place to put our vitamins. I hate vitamins out on show, but I feel like they're in a cupboard, you forget to have them. So when I open this, I straight away remember to have the vitamins. We're a huge lover of Jay's Health. I actually have a discount code for them, so I'll put it below. Some of our favourites are the D-Blow, the Hair and Energy, with the Lavender and Chamomile, and the Calm De-Stress. I literally love Jay's Health. So we've already filled it up already, so that is another top tip. We have, just regular pantry stuff. It's not even that tidy in there, to be honest. This is my favourite part. This is the bit where you can see the personalisation. I'm just so happy that we had a kitchen company that could make it this personalised. I have all of Honoré's bits. This is his snacks. We have all of our snacks in here. Again, I use the trays for everything that I don't damage the wood. We had all our wood whitewashed, another bespoke factor. A top tip about the pantry, when I saw other pantries, the doors were completely one like this. And I asked Nick at Handmade Kitchens, can you do the cupboards in half? And he was like, sure, no problem. So what I love about that is if I'm just opening and I want the bread, I just open this. If I only want the pantry, I just think it's a lot more practical and looks a lot nicer. So just something to bear in mind, that if you are having a pantry, cut the door in half. I think it looks better and is more practical. So our cooker is a French cooker by Le Conche. We literally ordered this the week before Brexit, which I won't get into because it's been awful. So this is our cooker by Le Conche. I feel like the cooker is such centerpiece in a kitchen, and I love this. I was very tempted to get the stainless steel. I was also very tempted to get the pink colour like this, and I just knew that I'd get a bit bored. I've got a pink smeg fridge, so I think I should, in our bar, so I think I should just leave that at that. So happy with this. I was a bit scared to have a gas cooker. I haven't had a gas cooker for a while, but I've been so happy cooking. I'm always sharing all my recipes. I'm not like a chef or anything, or like cook massively, but I do share the odd lunch on Instagram. So very happy with this. Very good service from Lecanche. Again, paid full price for this. The fridge, I'm just trying to make sure that you get all your information of what I'm finding amazing. Went with the cream and the white. Is it cream or white? It's like an off-white. Perfect, don't really have much to say about that, apart from it looks amazing, really happy with it. Am I forgetting anything? Should we go through to the utility room? Oh, my herbs here. I always have fresh herbs in the kitchen. I usually have mint and basil. I love to make my own pesto. I love fresh mint tea, and I just love the bit of colour that it brings to a kitchen. So now I will take you through to the utility room. Our utility room is actually quite small, but very grateful to have a utility room. We weren't going to do this, but because of how much time and effort it took to do the kitchen, we thought, let's just do the utility as well. So we had, a lot of people don't bring their marble into the utility room, but because you can see ours from the kitchen, and we bought every single slab that was available, I definitely wanted to cover that through. I have all my washing products here. I have my medicine drawer, which is hilarious because I needed a random box, and I've actually got Hermes boxes. We have our 2 Miele washing machines. If I could have 2, love Miele, really happy with the Miele product. If I could have 2 tumble dryers, I definitely would. I definitely recommend having 2, but we didn't have enough room in here. You can see this is the colour. This one is Loft White by Little Greene. It is a really amazing fresh white, but I think it works perfect because this is also a smaller space. The white is actually very reflecting, and then we've got the Portland stone lights, I think, on the walls. It's a beautiful contrast. This was how the kitchen was meant to be. So do you think I did the right decision of having the beige in the main kitchen and the white in the utility, or do you think it should have been the other way around? I'd love to know. Here I just have all the usual. We have the tumble dryer in here. Above I have all our bed sheets, our towels, our vases, you know, the usual. My dream utility room would be one that had a big island unit where I could lay out all of my washing, and I would have all like drying racks and things like that. We couldn't do much with this space because it is small, and we wanted to keep the money down as much as possible and just keep the layout that it had, but I'm really happy with it. It just reflects the kitchen perfectly. I love having a different colour utility room. I think that worked out so amazingly well. And this is proof that I haven't staged this kitchen. For one, I have 4 forks, so I'm in desperate need for a cutlery. I would have bought that in time, and look at this. I really need to organise this. This is all Honoré's plates, as you can see. So this is literally a real life kitchen drawer, as everything is. And all of our doors and drawers, they are all soft closing. Beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed our kitchen tour. Handmade Kitchens did our kitchen, Sharpstone for the marble worktop. I'll leave all of the information below, the Miele microwave, the Miele washing machine we have, the fridge freezer we have. I'll try and include as much information as possible. If you missed the tour to our family room, I'll link that below so you can see the whole flow together. Do make sure you're subscribed, because I am going to be showing you little tips, like little things that I have for my son Honoré and what he loves, and all what we do in the kitchen together, and the coffee machine, so still plenty to come. I'll link all the Timothy Alton furniture. Don't forget that if you go ahead with Handmade Kitchen, you get £500 off your chosen tap. You also get the complimentary engraved tray. So thank you so much for watching our kitchen tour. Would love it if you would subscribe, and I'll see you in our next video. Oh, by the way, another little tip. If you saw in the background that I have bananas with avocado, let me quickly show you these shell trays. They're beautiful. I'll link those below as well. So, little tip. If you put bananas with your avocado and you need them to ripe quicker, the avocado will ripe if you put it next to a banana. So I have had it like that for 24 hours, and now these are completely ripe, ready for our lunch today. So another little tip, just in case you didn't know about that. Paris said that we should do a cheers to the new kitchen, which I think is a great idea. Don't be shy and don't put that in my face. So I was telling them that you were sceptical about why?
About what?
About this not being French.
My timber, it's amazing. It's very smooth.
So from a French person,
you know that.
What's your?
Well, I think. Hey, that's what I think of it.
So what do you think of it?
Well, I think
it's
because
really
of
nice.
climate changes in France, the wines are not as good as they used to be.
Oh, you're going to get a professional answer now.
It's a bit acidic, whereas this one is actually very smooth.
Mine was a lot less scientific. Mine was just like, I love the taste. It's really refreshing and really light. Because I'm not a big drinker. So let's cheers to the new kitchen.
Santé. What does Oni do?
Cheers. So while you're here, do you want to give your opinion on the kitchen? Because I might have missed something. Here, you come in here because that's not all me. You drank that already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you tell them what you love about the kitchen because it might be different to me.
What I love about the kitchen?
It's flashing, the battery's flashing.
The bifolds, you can hide away all the mess, so I can do my toasties and everything, and then just...
Sometimes I open
Claire
and
will
it's
say,
carnage.
that kitchen better be tidy, you know. Yes, it's very tidy.
No, it is actually amazing. I really recommend having this because you know when one of my fears in life, which is pathetic, is I want the house nice in case there's a visitor unannounced, which never actually happens. It's good to have one of them spaces where you literally, this is where like the mess happens, making the coffee, like you said, toasties, smoothies, you can just put it all away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
That's fun. And I like the pantry because it's all organized.
And it's all in one place.
It's got Honoré and it's got Ben and it's got the treats. And yeah, I like that it's a big open space so that you can like really see and pick your spices.
I do not
and pick
miss
the
all the
things.
cupboards with like when you're getting all the different things. Pantry is the way to
Yeah.
go. And you can create it in a smaller space as well.
Oh, and I love having all the pans in drawers because
Yeah,
you pull the
nice.
drawer out and you see all the pans. Whereas when it's a cupboard, you have to look at the back, but you can see and can't.
And what do you think about having marble? Would you do it again?
Well, no, I'm surprised. Like I thought it was. No, I've
I
always.
can't see you.
I've always said for me marble is a natural stone, so if it gets stained, it gets stained,
That's a
and
good
it will
way to
look
say it.
it will look natural, naturally stained. A lot of the marble statues and stuff you see outside, they're always
That's
stained.
true, yeah.
But it actually is quite resistant. So
I know, yeah. I told him about staying.
yeah, the coffee fell on that bit, and we found the stain. No, it worked.
I know. What else do you like? What do you feel about having a painted kitchen?
As opposed to?
The machine.
Oh, you mean hand painted?
No, this hand painted or like the machine one, like that we saw at
Yeah, no, we had back in our old flat in London, we
Yeah.
had machine painted. It looks very like acrylic, like very plasticky, whereas hand painted looks a lot more matte, less shiny.
Yeah, I love that.
More,
and you can change
more,
it.
more craftsmanship
What
than
else
just
do
like
you think
machine
people
made.
want to know? What did you think about the kitchen company we used?
Well, we've become friends with them, so
Yeah.
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
They're all like our friends.
I
and
asked
they
him if I
all-
could
what
go
they're
back
up
to see his
and-
horse, and he was like, yeah, we can come back. One of the designers, Billy, had a baby. Like, yeah, we completely. That is actually really good, like proof. Like we've literally stayed in touch with them, which doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
And we wanted like other cupboards made. They don't actually just do kitchens. They do like all carpentry and cabinets, like all walk-in wardrobes and things like that. Anything else? What do you think of my designing?
I like the handle list.
Yes, I never spoke about that. So handless, you might think it gets sticky. I was worried with him because he's always got his dirty fingers everywhere, but I really like it. I actually think that knobs and handles get dirty and they're more difficult to clean. With this, I just spray it, I wipe it down. It's actually really easy to clean and I love how seamless it looks. I've seen this design done before with handles. I still think it looks really great. And this here actually, they made it. And I said, this doesn't feel too comfortable to open. Can you do it like the bottom? And they took the cupboard away, didn't they? Came back the same day and changed it. Like that's how handmade it really is.
Yeah.
Oh, the plug on the wall. We should talk about that. So the plug on the wall, I wanted this streamline with no plugs. Can you just go over here? Right, stand there. Mr. Awkward here. So So I want to talk to you about the plug because it was one of the other tough decisions. So I wanted it all clean and a nice marble. This is so awkward. But I finally went with the decision to have one plug because, and we do find it really useful, don't we? We normally have our Marshall speaker there. We've used it so many times, so I do recommend just getting yourself a nice plug fixture. And at the end of the day, you don't want to have a kitchen where you have no plug socket. So my advice is to just have the odd one. Cheers to the kitchen, and we're going to leave it with our beautiful view here, our wow factor view. So cheers.
Another cheers.